Well, it is Tuesday, August, or why do I keep saying August? September 3rd, 2024. And we're just leaving the anchorage here on South Manitou Island. And we are heading for Washington Island today. We can go between the islands here. Island to island. Island hopping. And it's about 7:40 in the morning, if I didn't mention that. And it looks like it should be a pretty good sail over there. Spent a couple of nights at anchor, I think, on Washington Island. We're facing a bit of a quandary. The winds by the end of the week are supposed to be blazing out of the north, like possibly gale force. So, and the anchorage at Washington Harbor is not going to suffice. We're going to have to move somewhere until that blows over, or try to get out of there before it. We haven't decided yet. South Manitou Island there. North Manitou Island there. We haven't been through this cut in a long time. Back when we had the Cabo Rico. Yeah, that was kind of a rough day until we got out here sailing around the islands. In fact, we changed our plans that day because of it. But today, sailing across the lake to Washington Island. It just occurred to us we're going to gain an hour today, and it will be the first time in 2 months we've been off at Eastern Time. We've been on Eastern Time since the day we left Manitowoc. We sailed over to Frankfurt. So, makes us feel like we're getting a little closer to home. Little. Kind of going in the wrong direction. Right side of the lake, but heading a little north again, so.
I noticed that. So now that I've turned this on, it won't happen, but I just thought I would give it from my perspective, just sitting here with the waves coming at us. We've taken some pretty good ones, and she handles it well. And as Bill was making a comment, it's a pretty smooth ride, even when you're being picked up and moved. We must have a gust coming, or we're in a gust, because I can hear the sail, the jib has that sound to it.
There's a big one, right by the bow. Gust. I hope the wind direction isn't changing.
That would be bad.
It backed substantially. I mean, veered.
Veered. Now we're pinching instead of being on a beam.
Now I'm pinching instead of, yeah, on a broad or a close reach rather. Well, just past the Welcome to Wisconsin sign a ways back, which is not in the middle of the lake up here. It's pretty close to the Michigan side. And we gained an hour, so it's about 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. And not looking quite as spicy as it did a little while ago. We're getting into some pretty big seas and had a ton of weather helm. Wind started gusting up around 20 knots and our anemometer quit. And all of a sudden just started working again a couple of minutes ago. So I don't know what's going on there, but took in a reef and we could tell as soon as we took in the reef, the wind died back down again. So they're down to 15 knots, so we're not doing, I mean, we're still doing all right. We're doing over 7 knots, 7.5 sometimes. But we were seeing over 8 for a while before we reefed. That was nice. And the sea state is flattened considerably. It was, that's some pretty big waves. I guess some were the occasional 8-footer on a day that they're forecasting. Was it 2 to 4? 2 to 3 foot waves. So, and I would say 2 to 3 is about what we're getting right now. So, anyway, I'm glad the anemometer started working. I was not looking forward to going up the mast to see if the transducer was bad or had a poor connection. The worst would be if the transducer was bad. That would force us to replace the electronics this winter, which I wouldn't like. I'd like to have new electronics, but the way things keep breaking on this boat, holy cow. Anything to add to our mid-lake crossing, hun?
You're safe and sound.
Yep, I can't imagine a safer boat to be on. It was pretty amazing when I was looking forward. The waves were pretty impressive earlier, and looking back, they were very impressive. I thought, wow, those waves would look they look pretty big, except we're about 2 stories off the water. So as unimpressive as things look on camera, they're even more unimpressive with the added height of the center cockpit.
I was still impressed.
Yeah, they still look impressive, but it just doesn't give you quite the thrill that you get when you're sitting down closer to them.
Well, that's the voyage.
Or among them.
The girl in me doesn't need that adrenaline.
Okay. Anyway, there's Michi. Say hey, Michi. Tuesday, September 3rd. Arrived in Washington Harbor on Washington Island. About, what time did we get here this afternoon? 2 o'clock.
Central Time.
Central Time. We gained an hour. And grilled a couple of steaks on the Nomad over here. So we already had our dinner. Did that right away. Michelle was hungry, so she made me cook her a couple of steaks. Take the dink ashore tomorrow with a couple of bicycles. Ride down, make sure our property is still there.
Nobody's squatting.
Make sure nobody's squatting on it or stole it. Picked it up and carried it off. I don't know how much 5 acres weighs, but anyway, yeah, kind of a pleasant evening, a little gusty. It's supposed to be that way for the next couple of days till the wind shifts. So we had a nice sail across the lake today, more or less.
More or less.
A few little hiccups. Sailed almost to the mouth of the harbor. By the time we got a ways out there, we were close hauled and then pinching and finally sailing off our course further north, and just decided, well, it was getting pretty gusty again, so we had taken the reef out of the jib, and we needed to put a reef in it. I went up to start taking in some sail and thought, hell, we're this close, I might as well just...
We were 2 miles from the mouth.
Yeah, we're only 2 miles, so we just hauled it all in and motored in here. And for lack of anything better to do, having a beer now. Anything to add, hon?
You've been wishing for a day to sail without motoring, and for the most part, that happened today.
Yep, we got that today. We had 2 days like that in the last week or so. Although not a very pleasant sail, we were able to sail all the way from Detour to Mackinac City.
Which was...
But it was with the wind right on our stern, and waves at our stern with some secondary swell coming in quartering, and it really was kind of throwing us all over the place. There was insufficient wind to keep the sails filled very well, so stuff was clattering around. We made it. It worked.
Today was more of a beam reach.
Today started out as a more of a beam reach, which is what it was forecast to be. But before you knew it, the wind had veered, and we were actually having to sail off our course just to keep the sails filled. Keep from luffing on that too. The wind's finally backed a little bit. We're able to sail directly to our destination again. So, and at varying velocities. So we finally got a little tired of the weather helm and everything, and took in a reef, and we'd no more than done that, and the wind kind of died off a little bit, so we were sailing a little underpowered for a while until we got probably about 10 miles from the island here, and we were going too slow by then, so I didn't take the reef out of the main, but because that damn thing is so hard to reef. I don't see how in-mast furling is an improvement over a stack pack, but
Except you don't have to go to the mast.
except you don't have to go to the mast. Anyway, I'm rambling.
It's all good.
Yeah.